Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and I'm here to review Amend, The Fight for America. And this is a new history series, a documentary series on Netflix. And this show is directed by Kenny Leon, who has done some different kinds of directing gigs for live performances like The Wiz and Raisin in the Sun and stuff like that, and Hairspray. Now he's taking his directing chops to this history series that is narrated and hosted by Will Smith, who really gives us, sets the stage for certain things to happen in this big, really interesting setup room. And what happens is he leads us through history of the 14th Amendment and how that amendment has shaped the fight for freedom for many different groups, whether it's black people, Asian people, Latinos and Hispanic people, and the LGBTQ plus community, and just immigrants in general, and women. And each episode kind of really takes a focus. Like the first episode is really setting up what the 14th Amendment was, and then each episode after that really sets up the fight for a particular group or focusing on big ideas. And this encompasses from all the way back to our founding fathers until today, which honestly the sad thing is this is still really relevant today. But what it does in an interesting way in terms of storytelling, it's a really well shot and well produced interviewing of historians and lawyers and stuff like that. But it starts incorporating quotes from important people along the way and that flesh out the story. And then it has celebrities reading those lines and portraying those people in more of a presentation and a performance instead of they're actually acting as that person. So an interesting example is Pedro Pascal pops up as Abraham Lincoln. Bobby Cannavale pops up. Samuel L. Jackson pops up. And you have a whole range of different actors, Randall Park pops up. And all these different celebrities embodying these different people and giving perspectives and reading these important quotations from people throughout our American history that helps give context to the story that's being told. And it's very informative. It's very interesting. It's intriguing. It's set up storytelling-wise in a different and intriguing and engaging way. And I think that's really important to bring this to the table because it needs that to make sure that the message of this show about amending the Constitution and fighting for rights for all gets brought to the light. And yes, there's definitely going to be people that are going to have a problem with this show and have an unfortunate perspective on what this show's trying to be. And really what this show's trying to be is opening our eyes to some of the travesties throughout our country's history and some of the fight for freedom that many people still are trying to fight today. And they had a whole entire section on the Equal Rights Act, which, having watched the new mini-series Mrs. America over the summer from FX, this gives the actual story that wasn't Hollywoodized. And you get all these different perspectives on these different important fights in our country's history, and also giving a lot of perspective on what we're still dealing with today. Because the fight for rights and the fight for freedom is still a big fight in our country. And it brings us all the way up to Trump presidency era of our country and dealing with different kinds of things where different people are still trying to fight for basic rights. And I think this documentary does a great job in portraying this and making it feel important. And I think that is essential because it is. And how this documentary doesn't come off as preachy, but it comes off as meaningful and impactful, and it gives you a lot of perspective on things. I learned a lot from sitting and watching this documentary, and I hope a lot of people take the time to watch these 6 episodes, about 6 hours of content, and really appreciate what's being told to them and what's being presented to them in this historical context of the United States of America. So yeah, you should go swing on over to Netflix and go check out Amend, The Fight for America. But those are my thoughts on this new documentary history series. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.